So you want to learn Hungarian in a way that is fun, smooth, but efficient? Well, you have come to the right place. My name is Christian. I'm a native speaker of Hungarian and a tutor of Hungarian, and I welcome you to this free video series of Hungarian lessons. This is lesson number 1. So let me just put myself in the top right corner so you can see the screen better. So um, we will jump into the language. Let me just quickly run you through the alphabet because that's quite critical to be able to pronounce words and to be able to read text. So let's quickly go through this. So I have prepared this alphabet decoder for you, so it would be simpler for you to study the alphabet as if you opened up a textbook. So I have created 3 different columns, and the first one is the letter as it would be in the Hungarian alphabet, like A is the first letter. And then the second one is, well, I call it the pronunciation. This is pretty much the English, like the letter from the English alphabet. And this letter from the English alphabet will be the one that is perhaps the closest in pronunciation. I know here it's going to be a little bit different because English alphabet is quite different in pronunciation, and that is why I have created the third column, which is a whole word, an English word. And as you can see, I have underlined parts of these words, and that is because this part of the word is how you pronounce that is going to be almost the same or the exact same way as you would pronounce that letter in Hungarian. So first example, A. It's like A in English, so it's a little different. But here is the example, army. Army. So as you can see, you pronounce it as A, and like in army. Second one is A. This is the letter A. So some English speakers sometimes want to pronounce this as A, but you have to be careful. This is going to be A. This is A. So A, like in some. See, that's an A as well. You don't say some or some, it's A, some. Then the third is B, like in blade. You can hear I pronounce B, but the A is only there because it's a consonant. So the core of the sound, which we use, you know, in reading or in pronunciation, is B. So B is the full, and blade, like in blade. Yeah, B. Then C. I didn't find any good English examples, so maybe this word is the closest, like, you know, like the Russian Tsar. Well, I know some people would pronounce it as a Tsar, and it's a little different, but Russians pronounce it as Tsar, so Ts, Ts. Just remember it's the letter Ts, Ts. So you can roll the video back to hear my pronunciation again in case this would not be clear. So this is going to be ch, these 2 letters together. We combine letters to create new letters. So this is ch, like in change in English, very simple. Ch, change. D, again, core of the sound, because it's a consonant, it's d. The full letter is D, of course. That's why I underlined it this way, like Dave. So when you are reading the alphabet, you know it's not just D, although everyone would understand and accept that, but usually we would say D, unless you're reading a text, and you know, then it would be the, and then you continue reading on. This will get much clearer as we go on. This is a tricky letter. This is Z, Z. And again, I didn't find good English examples, so I wrote a Hungarian one. This is bodza, like elderberry. This is the Hungarian word for elderberry. Bodza, z. Then this is, I know it's getting funnier. Like here it was only D, now it's z, and now it's j, like in jungle. I promise you, this is the only one with 3 letters together. This will not get worse. This will not get any worse than it is now, right? As this letter is. So J as in jungle. J, like in jungle. This one is very simple. A, like in emerald. A, emerald, simple. This is A, like actually this would be like this in English, you know, like A in English, and this is a. There is no y, like a, only like hail, hailstorm, a. F, frog, pretty simple. G, guardian. J, like again, Hungarian example, bojo, which is berry, bojo. J. You can practice this word pretty well with this name. It's called György. So this is the Hungarian version of George. György. And you might be wondering how you even pronounce this letter. So the way how you pronounce it, in case you are not familiar with this sound, is that imagine this is the top of your mouth, like this part, the top, and here's your tongue, and you would do like this, like you lay your tongue on top of your mouth, and then you form with your tongue a little bit like almost like a ball, but not like a really steep ball, but just like, in a relaxed manner, and then you say György, György. And the you can feel that the word is coming from like on top, like between your tongue and your mouth, not below your tongue, between your tongue and your mouth. So György. Yeah. Ha, Hungary. H, ha, Hungary. H is the core of the sound. So again, ha. E, like in election. I know this is only in some English-speaking areas. This might change from area to area, but I was familiar with the E pronunciation, like election. E, exact same thing as this one, you just pronounce it longer, like in eagle. E. This is ye, like in yard, ye. And again, the core is y when you see it in like reading it, when you're reading it in a word. Ka, like in car, ka. L, like in long, L. This is the most annoying letter. It's pretty much the exact same as this letter. You pronounce it, this one also as y, ye or y. Both of them are good. And this has no function, like it doesn't change pronunciation, it has no grammatical function, nothing. This is only there to annoy people because you have to remember which words are written with this one and with the other ye. One rule that will help you a lot, there is a rule that at the beginning of the word, it's always going to be this year, always. There is only one exception, it's this word, yuk. It means hole, like a hole on your socks or something. Yeah, yep. M, like in melt, M. N, like in navy, N. Ny or eny, both of them are good. Ny or eny. Like, again, Hungarian example, nyár, nyár, like summer, nyár, that's what it means. O, like in orange, pretty simple, O. O, the exact same sound, is just long, like in omega, O, long O. And Ö, like a herd, here, Ö. And there is a rule here which helps you a lot to write down words. So if there is O or Ö at the end of a word, you will always write it down with the long version, O or Ö, O or Ö. You also pronounce it long. P, so sorry, it's in English. P, so P, like in park, P. Again, the core of the sound is P. Then Q, like in Qatar. This is a tricky letter because this we don't really use this letter. This is only in the language, so we are able to write down foreign words. We don't really use it for our own words at all. This is only so that you see Qatar, it's a foreign word, so we are able to write down because we have this letter. Otherwise, if you forget this letter, it's fine because you are almost never gonna need it. R, so this is going to be R or R. The core of the sound is R. And like in roll, R. Sh, like in shadow. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to get used to this. This is not S, this is Sh. And this is the S. This. So, if you are Polish speaker, this is the exact opposite how it would be in Polish. So this is gonna be Sh, and this is gonna be S. T, like a toddler, T. te, kö. Um, not much English examples. Again, it's going to be Hungarian one, tyúk, hen, tyúk, kö. You might have noticed by now that Y is like commonly used to create new, like to combine it with other letters. See, all over here. The reason why is Y is not really having its own pronunciation. It's, if you speak Russian, this is pretty much the soft symbol. So you attach it to another letter and that changes the pronunciation. We use this to create new letters. So kö. I'll let you know how it works by itself. But it's pretty simple. U, like in rule, same, straightforward. U, exact same thing. It's just longer. Ü, German speakers, this is familiar. Ü, like in ül. This is the Hungarian word to sit, for sit. So you can tell your dog, like ül, or your child to like sit down. Someone below you, like someone under your authority in a sense. So ü, like ül. Ü, long ü, exact same, just long. These are not gonna be long at the end of the word. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but there is no rule. So this is V, like vehicle, and this is dupla V. So 99% of the time, if you hear V in the Hungarian language, it's going to be this one, written and pronounced. Like you both pronounce it as V, and you both write it down like this. If you hear this sound, this is dupla V. You will. This is very rare. Only we only have this letter again to be able to write down foreign words. We will pronounce this as ve in the word itself. But when someone asks you, this is like one of the few exceptions, maybe the only one, that you pronounce it differently in the alphabet as if you would pronounce it in real life. So this in alphabet, this would be dupla V, like double V, dupla V. But if you hear it, you would or read it, you would pronounce it as V. X, like in exactly, X, X. This is Y. Oh, sorry, there is no Z sound there, so you like sort of chip it off, like from the English version. Like it's not exactly, you know, like how you would say it in English. It's X, like exactly. Y. Well, this is epsilon. This is the other exception, actually. Yeah, dupla V and epsilon. So you don't really use this alone by itself. Only you use it to create new letters. So y, j, n, or y. The only time when it's alone, it's again in a foreign word or in somebody's name. But you very rarely see this alone. Then this is a Z, like in Zulu, Z, Z, and this is je, like in amnesia, je, je. All right, you have survived the alphabet. Now we can get into the fun part. So this is a method of learning. This is video learning. This is what I use in almost every single lesson with my students. It's up to their personal preference how much we use this. So what happens here is we watch a video together with the student, and you hear now you hopefully hear the sound of this video together with me. And what we do with the student is we pretend like we are in this video, and we describe together what we see and what we hear. And with this way, you get both the word, the Hungarian word, like let's say I can say esik az eső, it is raining, esik az eső. So you heard how I pronounced it. Now I now would write it down to you in Skype, so you can see how I write it down. And then you have everything you need. You have the way how I pronounced it, you have the way how I write it, and then you get these nice visual and audio triggers. So it should be much easier to remember it and make it memorable, because it creates like a native environment of learning, you know. So yeah, esik az eső. For example, or you can hear Sometimes the thunder, that would be mennydörgés, thunder. And again, if we were having a lesson like face to face, I would write it down to you in the Skype or in whatever platform you prefer. For example, now I can say ott egy piros bicikli, there is a red bike. Ott egy fekete autó, there is a black car. And after I write down the whole sentence like ott egy fekete autó, there is a black car, I will break them down to words in their basic form, like in infinitive form and all of that. So you have not only the full sentence, but the infinitive, the basic forms as well. So you have everything, audio, visual, words broken down, the way how you write it. It's very nice. All of my students really enjoy it, and I do it with all of them. So far, nobody have refused to learn this way because they all really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun for me as well, so I really like to teach this way. Yeah, esik az eső. Then we can say itt egy pár fa. Here are a couple trees. Itt egy pár fa. And then I would write down it here, egy. Well, here in this case it would mean egy pár. That would mean a couple. Egy, pár, couple. Fa, tree. This is a strange aspect of the Hungarian language. When we say things in multiple, we don't say like, you know, like two apples, like in English, we would say two apple, which is weird for English speakers, but you know, that's the way how we pronounce it. Or ennek a férfinek hátizsákja van. This man has a backpack. Neki esernyője van. He has an umbrella. I write all of this down while we are studying together. And if you're a a more advanced student, of course, we are having a conversation, like you say, látok egy fehér autót, I see a white car, and I'm like, oh yeah, yes, én látok egy magas épületet, I can see a tall building, és sok fehér autó van az úton, and there are many white cars on the road. Rengeteg bicikli van itt, there are a lot of bikes here. So yeah, once you get more advanced, this turns into a pretty much a conversation, a dialogue. Of course, if you're a beginner, we will learn together. If I say, neki esernyője van, he has an umbrella, you can write it down and repeat it after me. And then this way you should be able to get a lot of vocabulary quite quickly, especially because I use a technique which will help you to create a lot of associations, so it will be easier for you to study a lot of words and to remember them quite quickly. And because you will get vocabulary quite quickly, pretty much in a couple lessons of video learning, you should be able to point out a bunch of things, and then we have a bigger conversation, and it grows as time goes on. Of course, we don't only do this, we have face-to-face conversations. We can study from books as well if that's what you want. I usually teach like this because it's like in face-to-face conversation and in this video learning, because it's much more interactive and fun, and it's more stimulating for your brain, which is good for the memory, so you can learn faster. So yeah, of course, if you have any personal preferences, you can let me know. All of my students, can let me know how they want to study, and if there is anything they would like to change, I will of course follow that. So we will personalize the lesson to you according to your individual needs, so everyone can make out the most of the lesson and can have the most fun while being very efficient. So yeah, if you're interested, you can have a trial lesson with me, which is 30 minutes and it's free, so you don't have to pay anything for it. I will put my email in the description below, and you can send me an email if you are interested, and then you can have your trial lesson to see how studying is with me. And yeah, just try it out. You don't lose anything because the trial lesson is free. So you can try studying with me, and then if you enjoy it and you would like to continue, then you can book a couple extra lessons. So yeah, I hope you like what I have to offer, and then see you hopefully in the private lesson or in the next free video lesson. Of course, on the private lesson we are going to advance much quicker than on these free lessons, because you will be able to ask any questions, let me know, what your requests are, what your level is. So it's much more personalized and you will advance much quicker. But yeah, I'm looking forward for your answer, and then see you on the next occasion. Bye bye. I will just stop the recording.